everyone. Welcome back to Aaron and Helen in our bedroom.
It's in bed with Aaron and Helen. No pressure for that one. Nah, keep going.
Okay. Today is a special day. We have our first guest.
Hey, everybody.
It's Alex, who's Aaron's best friend.
It's my bestest best friend.
Yeah. Anyway, his first lover. And he's gonna be here with us today, talk about his band, talk about what he's doing, and give us a perspective on the subjects that we've chosen for today.
As usual, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. The Instagram is feisty_monkey7.
Yes.
That's on Instagram. And on Facebook is @famousramos89. And then also, if you want to email us any questions, it's inbedwithah@gmail.com.
Just in case you wonder, Feisty is Feisty.
Every time I type it in, I wonder.
Why is it Feisty Monkey?
It's her.
It's me.
That was just you pre-podcast?
Yeah.
That's how she felt on that day.
That's my...
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get like official ones another time.
Yeah. But then can you transfer... Anyway.
No, you can't transfer followers from one Twitter to another, otherwise it'd be super easy.
That's shit. So yeah, the theme for today is, well, one of the themes for today is about making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do you make a difference in your day-to-day lives and make the world better? I'm a bit of an idealistic. I'd like to think that you can change the world with small steps. And at least change, not necessarily the world, but change people's worlds around you. So help them have a better life and help make people happy.
Did you come up with that by yourself?
What do you mean?
Change the world by changing little things.
No.
I don't think so.
Gandhi. As Gandhi said that.
I think that's pretty well trodden.
Yeah, no, as I said, the way you phrased it, I was like, does she know a Gandhi quote?
Is that a Gandhi quote?
Yeah, it's a Gandhi quote, pretty much direct.
You know, I'm just that smart.
Just you're on the same level.
Yeah.
Same level as Gandhi.
No, you both feel smart because you said something meaningful and you pointed out that you know a Gandhi quote.
Yes.
You both win.
I think that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But maybe before we start, let's...
Quickly introduce Alex.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn the heat off as you go because it's boiling in here.
Okay.
It's warm.
Yeah, it's
warm in Aaron and Helen's bedroom.
So yeah, Alex and Aaron know each other since they're like 15, 16?
17? 16, 17? Yeah.
16 years old.
And you guys met at school, right?
Yeah.
We met in art college.
Yeah.
Well, we quickly realised that we didn't want to be artists.
Well,
Yeah,
Alex is kind of
well.
an artist.
I don't do any visual art anymore, really. I don't draw or paint or do anything like that.
Don't you do the covers and stuff?
Not for a long time. I did some freelance design work, but
Yeah?
it didn't last long. I just didn't apply myself, and people would want me to send them an invoice. And then I just
Is that where it falls down?
No, I just would never get around to it, and then I would just lose contact with people, and then just 6 months later,
Never get the money out of your
would
work.
just appear in my account, and it's like, oh, they paid me finally, jeez. But it's my fault for not sending
An invoice.
an invoice.
Oh, I love all that bit.
Just because I'm terrible, I'm not organised in that way.
I love the invoice and stuff.
You
I like
just
having
need
a file and putting everything in there, and I make the invoice out on Microsoft Word, real professional. But then I convert it to a PDF so that they can't change it.
Yeah.
You really need to. You just need to have an Aaron in your life.
Yeah.
I'd be your invoice guy.
Well, it's too late for all that now.
If you ever return to your budding
Okay, I
design,
will
you should have
do.
seen his stuff. It was super cool. What you did, I don't know.
Well, I
if it
saw your wedding invites.
Oh, that wasn't even me.
Was it
That
not?
was one of Becky's friends, yeah.
Man, I totally thought that was you.
No.
So he bullshitted me. He was like, "Look, that's what Alex did."
No, I didn't do that.
It looked like something you would do.
Yeah.
But you did you went through this period of doing really geometric stuff, which was very symmetrical looking and very clean lines. And
I would have loved that.
Yeah, it was cool. I'll show
Yeah,
you some of his stuff
yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
We'll put it out on Instagram.
I think some of it's on my Facebook.
Yeah,
Maybe, I don't remember. It might still be on there.
it's cool. And then you were really into doing portraits.
Really?
for a while.
No,
Like
really
just faces,
It
like really
depends on the
interesting
face.
faces.
Like some faces I want to draw, and others I just have no interest in drawing. Like, it depends. It depends on the face.
Is that why you never drew plate face?
Who was plate face? Oh, right. Yeah, no, I didn't draw plate face.
Wow.
Plate face, what's
I
that?
feel like I have to ask you the question after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll leave
probably.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, met when you were 17, discovered your passion for art that you've now forgotten or lost. And
I still appreciate like pretty things, but I don't make them anymore.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was really eloquent.
Yeah.
It was like doing like studying it like sucks the joy out of it big time.
Yeah.
Like when you would make a piece and then you'd be like, I'm really happy with this piece. I hope other people like this piece. And then your teacher would come and be like, so how are you going to develop this idea? And you'd be like,
That's
it's
it.
done. I don't
Yeah,
want to
this is
develop
the
it.
thing.
This
I
is the
made
thing.
the thing, yeah.
Are you not happy with the thing? You know? And they'd come and like every week we did the same thing. We would be like, you'd have the thing and they'd come and they'd be like, so you develop your, yeah, I've got some stuff at home and I need to, I'll get it to you tomorrow and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, okay. And then you'd add like a couple lines and then...
Why is that? Why do you think they were pushing you guys to like do more with it? Like,
I understand, because it's like, so art, you're supposed to be expressing yourself, but if you're going to make a living from it, quite often you'll have to express yourself within a brief.
okay.
So like somebody wants something in particular, or they want to convey a certain message,
Mhm.
and you have to make what they have in their head that they can't make.
Okay, but then how is it that you have to develop it and not someone tell you exactly what's not working for them rather than...
Because that's I don't know. That was just the nature of the curriculum. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Because what they wanted was a finished piece of work, and then also like an entire sketchbook of
Mood boards
progression
with Pritt stick.
of like, I started off thinking this, then I did this, and then I moved to that. It's like showing your workings in a math exam.
Yeah.
You can't just write down the answer. You have to show the equation as well.
Yeah.
But that's no fun. You just want to like make the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to make a notebook about it.
Man, I remember one of my final pieces, I was so fed up with it by the end that I didn't know how to display it. And it was meant to be a piece on domestic violence. I ended up just taking a photo of my neighbour who always looks scared. But like, I did it like a panoramic.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was. I did like a panoramic. You might remember the final piece. It wasn't the horse with the cowboy hat, which was awesome. But there was a final piece where I went into my neighbour's house and she was like this old lady, and
She looked scared.
she just had this scared expression on her face all the time, but she wasn't really scared. But I just thought that it might make for a good piece. And her house was so badly lit and so dark and dingy, it looked very creepy. So when I photographed it as like a test, it looked like the kind of house you would see in the domestic violence ad. And I'd kind of been leaning towards doing stuff like that for the art piece. So then I did like a panoramic, just like took a shot. Before like we had panoramics on everyone's phones, you know, I did it like shot by shot. And then I was going to kind of put them all together, and then I thought like, fuck it, I can't be bothered. So I just cut each into and put it on like a panel. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to display this. And on the way to the exam day, when we had to set it up in the big hall,
yeah.
I found a chair in a skip. And I took the chair and I smashed the chair, and then I put the chair on the floor and just put the pictures all on the chair. And I got like fucking great marks for it.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
What? I don't get what you did with the chair.
I smashed the chair.
Yeah.
He smashed the chair like an angry husband would smash the chair over his
okay,
wife's
that
back.
makes sense.
Yeah. But I didn't even put that much thought into it.
Okay.
They didn't put that much
I
thought
don't
into
remember
it.
this at all. Because I think I stormed out of that because they didn't put up my work.
I remember that.
Yeah, I walked out.
What was it that
I was like, fuck this.
Fuck this, I'm
Got to get a
16.
job, yeah. You know.
What was the...
What was your piece?
In all fairness, I did it on the last night. I rushed it. But it was...
what do they want from an artist, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, so I had a beer can and a pack of cigarettes, but I swapped over the branding. So I had Marlboro beer and John Smith cigarettes, which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
Like,
Andy Warhol would do that.
yeah, totally. But it just didn't... they didn't put it up.
Did
I
you?
stormed out.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's quite sad.
Yeah, bastards. Just sucked all the fun out of it. This is when you have to do it like that. And you know what would make them happy was when you did a mood board. So you basically just go through magazines, cut out pictures that relate to what it is, and then stick them down, and like have all this random pictures and stuff like that from different magazines with Pritt Stick, and no one ever had Pritt Stick.
So what happened then after? What happened after you graduated, or?
We went and lived together.
Yeah, we did. We got jobs and we lived together.
Lived at Lloyd's house.
Yeah.
that was an event. But like, yeah, I don't know why we tried it a couple of times living together.
And is that when you started working in bars?
Aaron was working in bars before I was.
And he was working in sales in office.
I was working in an office.
Wow, it's like a reverse.
Sales. I hated it. Oh yeah.
I remember once after he went back to working in the bar and I was working in the office and I was quite happy in my job. I called him. I was like, oh, you know, because it was earning more money, and in my head it was just like, oh, they're earning more money. That's the more important thing. And I called him and I said, man, like I got this new job. It pays really well. Like do you want me to get you an interview? And Alex was like, nah, I think if I took that job, like I know it would only be a matter of time before I wanted to jump out the window. So I was like, fair enough, man.
Okay.
No, I'm just not a natural salesman.
No.
I just, every time I would pick up the phone, I would just feel like, oh, I'm sorry I have to bother this person. That's just all I would feel like.
Yeah, it is.
And then that would come across, and then obviously I would never sell anything.
They just get fed up.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what you're selling as well.
If you believe in it.
Yeah.
I did not believe. I didn't believe.
Maybe if you work for a charity, you might have just ringing up old people and begging them to up their donations. I did that.
Yeah, but then you're like a professional guilt tripper.
Yeah, that's also...
That's not good. That's not good karma.
I'm not sure. And first you have to like be very passionate about the charity itself, and then find the right angle. Like...
Yeah, and also why don't you take this phone that you're calling me on and sell it and give that money to the charity?
That's a good point.
And sell your office chair and give that money to the charity.
These are all excellent points that I didn't think through when I just wanted to get a paycheck.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So when did you start your band then?
This is the latest iteration.
Oh, yeah. Now, I've been playing in bands since I was 16.
Oh,
so
okay.
a long time, like over a decade.
Oh, so you started already while at...
Yeah, I was in secondary school. Yeah.
He's a black belt in band.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And so what's the name of your latest band?
Marble Eyes.
Marble Eyes.
Find us on Facebook.
And what kind of music do you play?
It's like just pop melodies with swung rhythm section. It's like just quite groovy stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's cool. I played you one of the ones that you sent me.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed by your scene.
It
wasn't a lot, like, I think you were just like in the background or something.
It takes a while to get your confidence up with that sort of thing. It's not the same as playing a guitar or playing the bass.
Yeah.
It's a lot more personal. It's,
I tell you
what, to sing?
Yeah, definitely.
You know it is. Like, if I was to say to you, just sing now for Alex.
Well, what do you want me to sing, Alex?
Frère Jacques. Sing something French.
Sing something French.
He's so racist. I should have known. Yeah. What did you want to say?
About what?
Because you cut me to say something.
Yeah, she was about to sing and you interrupted her. I don't know where you were going.
No, I'm not going to say nothing. But Marble Eyes.
Yeah, singing is it's like the more difficult thing, I think, to do.
It's really personal.
Yeah.
If you play on the instrument, you fuck up. They go, "I haven't practiced enough." But people don't realise that singing is
It's an instrument.
It's an instrument. Yeah. So if you sing and fuck up in front of someone, like it feels way worse. It's like getting beat up in front of people.
I don't know. I think it's just like, to me, it sounds like the same, whether you fuck up on the instrument or with your own voice.
It's a lot more intuitive because, like, so let's say a song is about to start and you're playing guitar, you can look at the fretboard and you know, okay, that one there, that's where I need to be. But if you're about to start singing a song, you have to just sort of know magically where the note is.
Yeah, there's no one there with the piano going, ding.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
but
it's not as easy. For me, anyways, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what I was going to say now. Do you have your stuff, like you have it on MP3, you have like ready-made songs.
It's on
and
SoundCloud,
stuff.
yeah.
It's on SoundCloud. Maybe to close off the podcast, we'll add it in later. But like when we close off, we'll finish off with one of your tracks.
That's nice.
That'd be right.
That'd be cool.
Cool. We'll play one of your tracks. Nice.
And you're playing bass, the bass, right?
The bass, yeah.
The bass.
I like bass.
I think in French, that's how you call it. I don't know. I'm gonna use that as an excuse.
In French, that's how you call it.
Yeah, that's how you call it in French.
Bass is a fish.
Sea bass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of French and fish, right? So I had 2 stop-offs in France recently.
Oh yeah, because you went on your cruise.
I was on a cruise. But, so we went to Le Havre and Cherbourg.
Okay.
Now, can you say those 2 names?
Why would you... Le Havre and Cherbourg.
Ow. Cherbourg was really nice. I like Cherbourg a lot.
But both of these cities are kind of ghetto. Why would you
It's
go
because they have big ports and it's
Yeah.
a giant boat, so
Yeah,
it can only go where there's a big port.
there?
the ghetto.
So, yeah.
It's not that they're ghetto, but it's like Le Havre, for example, is like a port. That's what it is. That's where most of the containers and most of the imports or exports are done from. So it's not really a beautiful city per se.
Le Havre I really liked because there was 2 really beautiful churches there.
Yeah.
So there's St. Joe. I hope I'm not messing up which city is which, but I think it's St. Joseph's Cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
Is really it was like post-war.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't remember if this was Cherbourg or Le Havre. Anyways, but it's there. So it's like a really modern cathedral, and it's got a spire that goes up 300 feet, and you can stand underneath it and look all the way up.
Oh, wow.
It's got stained glass all the way. And
That
then,
sounds awesome.
I
Really?
don't know.
Sounds scary for you, no?
No, so
You don't go up it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck that.
Maybe you could. I don't know.
I climbed the castle in Valencia. Don't you forget.
Wow, that was a tiny castle. Anyway, sorry, Alex. Keep
And
going.
then there was also, I don't know what the word means exactly. A basilique. What is that?
Basilique.
It's like a
It's
cathedral.
kind of like
right?
a massive church, basically.
Okay, well there was
That's
another
how-
one of those, but it was like a Gothic one, like really ancient.
Maybe
Proper-
that means Gothic Church because I've heard that term used.
And I don't know what denomination of Christianity it was exactly, but it had like really Illuminati looking stuff.
Really?
Triangles with ancient Hebrew words in them and clouds and stuff coming out of them. It's quite cool, yeah.
That does sound cool.
And then and then Cherbourg was good because as soon as we got off the boat, we walked past the fishing port, and there was a lady who had turned a bus stop into a crab stall. She was just selling crabs in buckets. At the
Oh,
bus
wow.
stop. It was really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it like a real bus stop that it was still in use, or did she just...
I don't know. I didn't check.
Okay.
It was a bus stop. She was selling crabs straight
Did you
off
get
the
some
boat.
crabs?
It was
Did you
literally
get some?
behind the bus stop was the boats where they bring in the fish.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you get some?
No, but I did get some foie gras
Ooh.
from the market there.
I remember
It
you
was
had your
market
first
day.
foie gras with us, didn't you?
Yeah, and I was a bit disappointed because it wasn't all foie gras. It was like foie gras
Mixed with...
wrapped in a really coarse pate.
What?
It was weird, yeah.
It's a way of like fleshing out the foie gras.
Oh, no.
For the tourists.
Yeah,
They gypped me.
scammed you. They gypped you.
Yeah.
It's probably not the season anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it was good. I like France. I like France better than Spain, I think.
What?
Yeah. Spain had nicer beaches, no doubt. Spain wins on beaches.
Where'd you go in Spain?
So we went to Bilbao,
Yeah.
which I didn't really care for.
Why not?
Didn't like Bilbao much.
What's wrong with Bilbao?
It was like picturesque, but there wasn't much to do there.
Yeah.
So we went back to the water and just walked along the beach, which was really lovely. And then a place called Gijón that I'd never heard of before. We went there.
Me neither.
either.
Yeah.
But again, it had a nice beach. Lots of little dogs running around. It was cool.
Do you eat anything in Spain? Like from the land?
No, because you get off the boat and then it's like you have a couple hours and then you got to get back on the boat or you get left behind.
Nice.
So yeah, it doesn't stop overnight. You just have to get off the boat, get on.
What is it like being on a cruise for days, like with all just random people?
No, but the first question is it mainly old people?
Fuck yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, that's such an old
It's
people
all
concept.
like designed for old people as well. So the swimming pools are all really shallow, and they have a step down to get into them.
Oh wow! Or they're like lifts going into the pool as well.
There was. They had those big hanging chair things that you could climb in, and they'll lower you down in. Yeah.
That makes me. I don't know why that just would
sounds awful.
freak me out a little bit.
But yeah, it was. I enjoyed it overall. 4 days in was my limit, where I was like, "Fuck, this is a bit much being on this boat."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Did you feel claustrophobic?
At times, yeah, for sure.
How was sleeping? Did the boat move at all, or was it so big?
I wasn't bothered by the wobbliness of the boat. Becky, she did get a bit seasick.
Yeah.
At times, you can feel it. And especially if you look out the window, you can see the horizon.
Yeah.
And you can see where the windowsill is, and you can see that it's moving.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's such a big boat.
It's a big boat. Yeah.
Oh man. Were there any like bizarre people that were on the that you saw on a regular basis?
Cruising, it's like a proper culture. People are in the cruise life.
Yeah.
They just sit around talking to each other about other cruises they've been on.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes up to you on the cruise and they're going to talk to you, you guarantee they're going to ask you, "What do you think of the ship? What other boats have you been on?" Like,
really?
Yeah, that's all they talk about.
That's awesome.
Hashtag cruise life.
Hashtag cruise life.
Yeah.
That's wild. And all the food was good. It was all.
The thing is as well is like you eat a cooked breakfast every day and you have a 3-course meal every night, and
it's all inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not good.
That's why I'm the fattest I've ever been. Back off the cruise. Yeah.
So now you're on a diet.
Yeah.
Do you have a target as to what you want to achieve?
Well,
what are you now?
I weighed myself this morning, 201 pounds.
You're a light heavyweight.
Yeah, I know, dude.
You're a light heavyweight.
I'm like 5'9". I'm a light heavyweight.
You're like
cool.
that's Forrest Griffin's weight class.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
I know. But so I think if I can get under 180, so I'll lose like 1.5 stone. Ideally, I'd go 2 stone, so I'd get down to around 170.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like the most lean I've ever been, I think.
I remember
I've always been
185.
kind of fat. I've always been like half fat.
Half fat.
Yeah.
I remember 185.
That's part of your identity?
I'm the half fat guy.
I don't introduce myself that way.
Shake my meaty hand.
I don't know what parts of my life does being fat shape. Yeah, I don't know.
So would you would it be weird for you to change that?
Probably.
Like, would you consider pushing yourself to
I remember living with you. You would quite often have 2 dinners.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
See,
I just love eating. Yeah.
Yeah, but so do we. But like, I just remember one time, like
I'll say this now because listening to your podcast, you guys talk about food like. I ate pasta 3 times last week. God, I'm so fat. And I'm like, you don't even know. I'm talking about like real fat guy problems.
Let's say some fat guy problems.
Like pasta 3 times in a week. That's like standard. I'm talking like 6 donuts in an hour. I'm talking like I'm talking real fat guy stuff. You guys don't even know.
No, the thing is, we have to make weight for competitions every once in a while.
Yeah,
Imagine
it's a struggle.
But I don't have those responsibilities in life.
If I didn't have those responsibilities in life, I would totally be eating packets of donuts. Yeah. I remember there were 2 times when we had like heated disagreements.
What about?
The whole time we lived together. One time was about a whale.
Right, yeah. No, these are things that were insignificant, but we were like one or both of us was just in a bad mood.
We were very passionate about whales at that moment.
Yeah, that particular moment.
In time. The other time was when I called you out a bit on having 2 dinners.
Yeah.
Because we were both fucking broke. We had no money, and we were like struggling to pay the bills, and we had a stupid landlord kept coming over unannounced and visiting us, and it was just a very stressful situation. And I remember you telling me something like, like we were both saying like how we had no money, for food, and we'd pool together and buy oatmeal and make French toast like every meal. And then one time I came into the kitchen and we'd just eaten together, and then you were making another meal, and I was like, Hey man,
Hey man,
you sure you want to have 2 dinners? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm just starved then, yeah?
Well, I think
And I was like, I'm never going to bring that up ever again.
If I remember correctly, it's because I was going to go and work all night, so I wouldn't have like a normal dinner time.
That's true,
So I
that's
was
true.
cramming in another meal.
Doubling up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember thinking to myself that day, I was like, wow, that is the last time I ever suggest you don't eat a meal.
Yeah.
Question the second dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, question the second dinner. Oh man, we just came back from Valencia in Spain this weekend. That's why this podcast is coming out late, and we gorged.
That was not good for my body.
No, we just gorged. It was just eating, drinking, sleeping, eating, drinking, sleeping. I had a slight buzz the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I wasn't hungry even once when we were out there.
Because it was for a friend of ours' birthday. We went and stayed with their family and stuff, and her mum one day made us the most amazing pumpkin donuts. So like, the pumpkin kind of fleshed it out and gave it some sweetness, and it was like churros almost.
Yeah.
But they were accompanied by, each of us had like, a glass, like a full-size tumbler of melted chocolate.
It wasn't a hot chocolate per se that you find here with a lot of milk or anything. It was literally
just melted chocolate. You start with the first couple of dips, just eating it, and then we all just end up just drinking the liquid chocolate. It was amazing.
That was too much even for me.
I didn't.
You outdone me.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't even drink it.
I ate like 20 of those donuts. It was so good.
We have some videos of it. I'll show
In
you.
slow motion. Slow motion donut.
Why would you make that? Why would you make that video?
Because that's how I felt when I was eating it. I felt like it was
like
happening
you
in
wanted
slow
to make
motion.
a video.
No, I felt like it was happening in slow motion. It was that tasty. I was like, it was awesome. Yeah, man. That's the problem. You go on holiday, you just stuff your face and you don't think. You're like, I'm on holiday. Every part of me is on holiday. My fucking stomach is on holiday.
No, but your stomach's working harder than ever. It's the other way around.
It's working out.
Yeah.
It's true. Man, just going back to the music then.
Mm-hmm.
So, I remember your first iteration with the band was the Kulaks.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
You're going way back now.
Way, way back. Because that was the first one, right?
Yeah, so that was like we were still learning to play. We weren't.
But it sounded, I remember it sounded good. It sounded polished.
How old were you?
Yeah, around, like I said, 15, 16.
Oh yeah, because that's the very first
so
one.
So that was already in swing when I met Aaron.
Yeah. Was directly after that was Miniature Cities? Or was that
No, there was another one in between.
Which was Short Circuit Device.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Yeah.
So Short Circuit Device was in the same kind of ilk as Kulaks.
Yeah, but that was like a bit more polished.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Miniature Cities was after.
Yeah.
And that was the last one before this one.
Yes.
And that was super experimental.
It was just electronic. It was like a trip hop,
Yeah, I remember I went to a
moody,
gig.
very.
I went to a gig and I didn't get it at all. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, I don't get it, and I want to. And I felt like bad even like bringing it up.
Was it the one you brought Maconia to?
Yeah, Maconia. And Maconia goes like, I don't know what it is. He's Polish. He's like, I don't know what it is. I like it, but I don't understand it. And he was like stoned out of his mind.
Well, that's the trouble with so was I when we were doing all that music.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Too much.
Why do you like? What do you like about performing so much?
Do you like it?
I don't know.
Do you like
it's
it?
not
Yeah.
like I wouldn't say it was my favourite part of the whole
music making.
process. I've had to sort of like learn to like it.
So why not just play for yourself? Why not just make music and produce and stuff? Why do the performing if it's the least favourite part?
Because there's like a sense of satisfaction that you get from when you are in a band and you have 4 or 5 different elements all synced up perfectly and like chopping along together and it all like flows and stuff. That's really satisfying.
I would say you're very much, from what I see, you're kind of like usually the producer of these bands.
No, producer's the wrong word.
Yeah.
And like not for any of the other bands. Only this one I sort of like initially took the creative lead.
Mm-hmm.
But now, so Dan, the guitarist, who I've been playing with since I was at school, he does all like production, mixing,
Got it.
recording stuff because he studied music tech, so he actually knows what he's doing.
Okay.
I have no idea. Like, so you even using GarageBand is above my head on the technical side.
I just
have
had
no
to
idea.
learn it as I go, and YouTube searches and stuff like that. Like it's like a whole nother science to it. You know what I mean? But we're finding like there's commonality in things like competition in martial arts is not necessarily like our most favorite part of actually training it, but you do it because there's a certain sense of satisfaction and the stuff when it all pulls up, when you pull everything off.
Plus there has to be an end game. There has to be something you're working towards for you to be excited about it. So like a performance, like so you've made all this music and you practiced and you've rehearsed and you chipped away at it and you're happy with the product.
Yeah.
And then just to shut it in a cupboard and go and
But
do
you
something else.
You could make a CD or something out of it.
Yeah, you can do. But like actually doing a show is like that's
I guess performing and doing a
it.
show, you see the result straight away, whether people like it or not, isn't it? You see it in front of you while you're playing.
Yeah, it's very direct.
Got a little taste of that doing the stand-up comedy recently. Oh.
You were there, weren't you?
No, I
you didn't
could make it. Yeah.
Talk about nerve-wracking experience. You talk about singing is more of a personal thing. Like just using your voice and your body to perform to people is terrifying. Way worse than fighting. I found. I would rather fight in a cage with like Anderson Silva. Like if I had a choice on a day, it's like which one do you want to do? I was like, probably that one. It's just so nerve-wracking, and you have to really like craft it all and pick and choose the timings and where you're gonna have dead space and things like that. Some people came on and just winged it, and some were good at it and some were not good at it. Mine was like meticulous. I knew where I was going to stop talking. I knew where I was going to, my voice was going to raise and lower. I knew the pitch and tone of every word I said.
Yeah, but see, you explaining that now sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
Because I listened to the podcast after you did it and you said that you were like, no, you wrote an article about it, that's it. And you said that you were staring at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, you practice in a mirror.
Like Buffalo Bill, you know.
I got that from listening to Brian Callen. Brian Callen said practice in a mirror. And I got the meticulous side of it from Bill Burr. And Bill Burr and Brian Callen are two of my favourite comedians. And Bill Burr said that like every single bit is meticulously planned out. You know? So like I don't know them.
Creepy.
Yeah, but it has to be.
It does sound creepy though.
But then the thing is, it's not really surprising from him, is it?
When you get on stage,
Do you know what I mean?
Well, okay, let me put it this way: when you get on stage, how much of your act is winged?
What do you mean?
How much of your act how much of a song that you play do you
I guess it's the same as the
you know
rehearsal.
exactly how the song's going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly I know exactly what joke I'm going to tell.
Yeah.
Or if you do a jiu-jitsu fight, I know exactly how to do this X guard sweep that I'm going to do. You have to plan it. Sometimes you don't get it right and you fluff it a bit. Like my intro to the thing, I said something completely different to what I had rehearsed. But like then from there, when I kind of relaxed a bit, it all flowed and went better. But I don't think like meticulously planning something's creepy.
No, but just the image of you sitting there talking to yourself in a mirror pulling faces is creepy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe. I thought of it as shadow boxing, but now I think of it as creepy. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like...
But all the jokes paid off.
Good.
Everyone I planned, people laughed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was no dead silence. There was nothing where I fucked up and nothing bombed.
All of them?
Yeah, everything. Everyone where I intended and thought people would laugh, they laughed.
Will you make it to the next one?
When is it? When are you doing?
19th, May the 19th, at the Cavendish Arms.
Yeah, I
Stockwell.
should be able to do that. I can't see why I wouldn't be able to. It's
Is it a
long enough
Thursday?
away.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're travelling to Paris that day.
Are we?
Yeah.
I might have to cancel then.
Oh dear.
Let me double check.
Double booked.
Because we're like the wedding of my friend is on the 20th.
I remember.
Jokes.
So what about the performance aspect? Like, how much of it is like, do you find is crowd interaction, or is that something more the lead singer would do? Because you obviously play the bass.
Yeah.
So like
the bass, we say
the bass. How much of it is crowd interaction? And
for me personally, it's just been a really long journey of just sort of getting myself to the point where I'm comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm in this environment, and after a while, you're sort of like, okay, I'm happy, I'm comfortable with this environment. And then you can start kind of exploring how you are on stage.
Mm.
But for me, still, like, I get up there, I do my thing, play the songs,
Exhausting.
like I might nod my head, tap my foot, whatever.
You're that guy, you're the understated musician.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still maybe even now, I'm still not like 100% comfortable on there.
Maybe you never will be.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
maybe Robert Plant is
Probably
never 100%
Do you
comfortable.
feel some kind of satisfaction?
I would.
Sorry?
Do you feel some kind of satisfaction from it though?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just like, I call it post-church feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys were raised religiously.
No.
Like you went to
No.
church.
Yeah, big
But it
fan.
sounds like church was fun for you. I used to hate church. I was like Roman Catholic, fucking sit down, shut up, listen to what he says, kneel down when they tell you to kneel down.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't a fun thing.
So
Yeah, church was
But I
made
just
to be
remember-
as fun as possible.
Like leaving church on a Sunday was just like the best feeling of church is finished. I've got the whole rest of Sunday now to do what I want.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it feels
I
like
don't
after
know.
jiu-jitsu
competition.
So I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how it feels like when I get off stage. Like, I can finally relax.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I actually enjoy it. It's hard.
Dude, I remember going and seeing you at gigs, and that was a visible change on you.
Yeah.
I get to the gig, and I'd be really stoked and happy to see you perform, and you'd be like, "Yeah, man, hey, what's up? Cool." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then afterwards, you'd be like, "Oh, man, how you doing?" And, like I remember, man. I'll tell you what I do remember. I remember you telling me that story about a drummer from your first band and the rooftop vomit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Tell Helene, because
What
she
is
probably
that?
hasn't heard this.
I don't remember a lot of the details of it. But basically, so when you're young and you're like first learning to play instruments and you're in a band,
Yeah.
it's like half the reason you're in it is just to like fuck around and drink a load and do gigs and like talk
Yeah.
to girls.
Right. talk to
Just be
girls.
crazy, you know.
Yeah.
We were doing a gig at a Squat in Whitechapel.
Okay.
Just round the corner from here.
Yeah, we were at a Squat in Whitechapel, and like the drum kit was like one of the drums was held up, like propped against a bin, and it was just like shit, complete shit. But everyone there was mental, and I think Dan. Somebody shall remain nameless.
Someone who should remain nameless.
You have to like put a little bleep in there.
And then
anyway, so he found a little bag of something, a little bag of weed, I guess. We don't really know what it was. And then he decided, let's fucking smoke it.
As you do.
We were still in school at this point, I think. We were like 17 at the very oldest.
Yeah.
And we were all drinking and they were smoking that. And then we were up on the roof of the place. And then the drummer puked in the corner on the roof. But this was like when you were young enough to still have casual vomiting. Like you just, okay, let's carry
And
on.
then and then get on with things.
Yeah, and then we went and played the gig, I don't remember if there was like a punchline to that story or not.
Punchline to the story for me was when apparently you were walking down to go do the gig, and then he stopped you and went, "Oh wait, hold on a minute, guys." All right, let's go. And then
There's
carried it on.
like nothing funnier to me than my friends in some kind of distress. I don't know.
Vomiting. Man, it wasn't.
Vomiting. Anytime Dan pukes, Mike pukes. Anytime or like the time that you called an ambulance for yourself. The funniest times I can ever recall are those times.
Yeah, you kept a remarkably straight face that whole ambulance fiasco.
Yeah, I was like pissed. I was like, "Oh, why is he ruining our evening?" Calling an ambulance.
My evening was ruined, so it was at that point. It was great. We'll save that story for another time.
Yeah.
But I was asking because about the crowd interaction thing, because from doing your music, you reach out to people in a certain way. Like, you know how music makes you feel,
Sure.
You know, and you really enjoy it, and sometimes it makes you have emotional reactions. Like, it can make you feel like really excited or really angry or really hyped up or really sad.
Yeah.
You know, and your music, to a point, like, must be reaching people in those kind of ways too.
On some level, yeah, you'd hope so.
For sure. Like, I definitely felt something when I listened to your music. I definitely was like, I felt, I don't know, like, it was very chilled out music, and I didn't just feel chilled out. Like, there was a definite underlying current. Like, the subject matter of the song was obviously about a relationship of some kind, and I could identify with it, and it made me think of, like, you know, my past, and it made me, you know, it brought me back to a certain type of emotion, and with us, with, you know, what we're experienced with is martial arts and everything. So we train people as well. So Helene is teaching people twice a week and stuff like that, and I'm teaching people kind of ad hoc. But I was teaching people more in the past. But, you know, Helene, you've said in the past, like, when you see people getting the technique, or you see people learning and developing and growing, it's like a really cool thing. Like, you have an influence on people's lives in some way, and in a positive way, for good. And I don't know, does it ever dawn on you when you're making your music, or maybe afterwards, or maybe you see someone in the crowd, or they come up and tell you, or something like that? Because the subject today, we wanted to talk a little bit about changing the world for the better, and if not the world, just like the world around you, maybe. But I think musically that you would do that.
I think it's more like that's the other way round. Is that's more the process that you go through as someone who's writing the song. Is that you're like getting rid of your own stuff, or like expressing your own things. And if other people identify with them and have an emotional reaction, that's great. But I'm doing it mostly for myself. It's more a selfish thing. And
that makes sense. Does that actually help? Like, have you actually?
Yeah, definitely.
Personal therapy.
It's like, so if you take something, some experience that you've been through, or some emotional thing, if you can write a song, or you make a piece of music, then all of a sudden your issue, or whatever it was, is like a tangible thing. Yeah. It's like a song, or it's a picture, or it's a whatever. Yeah. And it's there in front of you. You can sort of like get perspective on it, and distance yourself from it almost, which is good.
That's sweet.
I guess it helps you learn from it as well. Yeah. It's like having to actually put it down in words and explaining it through words.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of the same in coaching and teaching, isn't it? Where having to break it down, you're actually understanding a bit more what you're doing and why you're doing things, while otherwise you're doing it more instinctively, and you're just like, you know, kind of sometimes winging it most of the time, actually. Once you have to explain it to someone and break it down, then it kind of like makes sense to you. Yeah, it clicks. It makes sense to you. And
the amount of times I've explained how to throw a right hand or how to throw a jab to someone has helped me no end in understanding how to throw a right cross and a jab way better. Way better. I remember when we used to do our improvised training sessions and stuff like that, but like, I showed you a technique and a combination, and then you kind of did it with me, and then you got me to practice it. And it was when we were drilling in Clissold Park. Right. And I had a fight coming up, and it was a Muay Thai fight, just like an interclub. And it was my one, like, clean knockout. And I knocked the guy out with more or less the exact combination we were working. Right. With more or less exactly what we'd been working. Yeah. Because it was the first fight I was allowed to throw elbows. We had pads on and stuff. And me and you, just in the park, just kind of for you, for fun. And me, I was had just started competing. And it was just like just a particular combination, like a jab, cross, elbow, left hook. And it just happened in the fight. And I just did it exactly like that. And I didn't even feel the punch land. And the guy was like, out. You know? And it was a super good feeling. And it was only after a little while that I realised, like, that was the exact thing that we'd been doing, like, dicking about in the park with. And the funny thing was, I was training most days a week, Muay Thai, but the thing that got them was was when I was teaching you. You were the first person I ever taught. You were the first person I ever showed anything to. Like, I've had full classes of people since then, but the first person I ever broke stuff down to was you.
Oh, that's nice. So sweet.
Yeah.
You guys. No, but that's an interesting point, actually. That sometimes being selfish and doing selfish thing can inspire people. Like,
yes, for sure.
because the way you're doing it selfishly to exercise your pain and whatever happened for you. That can, like, some people can relate to it from what is coming out of it. Same thing in coaching, and obviously I'm not necessarily doing it. Well, actually, I am at the moment. I'm doing it selfishly because I want to see whether I like it or not, so that I can see whether one day I can open a gym, right? And that's selfish in a sense. Like, the reason why I want to do it is to be able to
earn from it.
Yeah, to earn from it, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
sure.
Still, even doing that, you can potentially inspire people to, to compete or to do good in the sports.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially, to be honest, especially being a woman in jiu-jitsu, because there's such this like surge and very tight-knit group of like BJJ girls. It's like a hashtag. There's no BJJ boys because guys are kind of like the main
it's kind of
guys.
like implied, isn't it?
It's implied. But like every picture where there's at least 2 girls in a gi is hashtag BJJ girls if you look at it online. Jiu-jiteras, yeah, or things like that. So when they see a girl like Helene who's like dominating in competitions most of the time and teaching and everything like that, like it like jacks people up. They're like, they really want to kind of come more, And I don't know if it's
well, I'm not sure about that, but I hope so.
Yeah, well, you're the one in it, but from an outside perspective, I don't know if it's anything to do with the fact that you're teaching now, but it seems to just be way more girls. Because how many girls were there when you started?
Well, I was, I don't know, maybe 2, 3 girls.
And how many would you say there are now on average in jiu-jitsu alone?
Now I know there are about 7 girls, but there's nothing to do with me. I think it's just like natural.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a natural thing going on.
But you are always there telling people to go.
Yeah, but...
Come try jiu-jitsu, come put on a gi. Come put on a gi, come try jiu-jitsu.
Like,
you think that has had no effect?
No, I don't think so.
You're modest, that's why.
Not yet. But anyway, yeah, that's really interesting. I never actually thought of it this way. Because one of like the theme of today around making a difference and is coming back to me questioning how do you inspire people to make a difference, and how do you I have an anecdote around that. Like, I posted a couple of months ago about Justin Wren, who's an MMA fighter, and he's got this great initiative to help the pygmies in the Congo. So the pygmies are a tribe made of very short people, I would say, and because of their
they're like 4 foot tall, like some of them
grown up. Yeah, and the thing is, because of their physical aspect, they're seen by the local Congolese as
subhuman.
Yeah, non-human, as animals. Some of them
they eat them.
Yeah, they eat them as like there's cannibalistic.
Yeah, the full size humans, they eat the Congo pygmies.
Yeah, because they think they're animals, like they consider them as animals. So it's like, for them it's like eating pork or whatever. And most of the time, if they're not being eaten by the Congolese, they are enslaved. So they take over their territories, and then they have to work to live in the territories that once was theirs.
They feed them, like they pay them in like a banana a week or something crazy.
Like some crazy shit. Right? Yeah. And so what Justin Wren is doing is he was an MMA fighter. He kind of stopped for a while, went to the Congo, discovered all of that, and he's now working with Water 4, I think is the organization.
Yeah, providing wells.
Yeah, so they're building wells in the Congo, and on top of that, they're also trying to buy. So they're negotiating with the locals to actually buy the territories back and give it back to the pygmies. So buy it back on their names, so that it's kind of like freeing them. So it's fighting for their freedom and giving them some kind of way of taking care of themselves.
Giving them a home. Giving them just like a home. You know?
Yeah. but also
how did
like
he even get involved in that? What was it that made him go to the Congo?
I think it was a Christian like
mission
that he went to because he discovered God at some point.
It was like this was going back a really long time. I remember he was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I know who he is.
Yes.
It's because of that. But that
Same.
was such a long time ago, the first time he was on there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't remember a lot of the details of what you're saying. But yeah.
I think that's the very first thing. I think he discovered God. He discovered a friend of his, and somehow I think
someone just told him about it, essentially.
Yeah, but somehow God talked to him that he had to go there, like that was his destiny or some sort. Yeah, don't look at me this way. That's his. That's his beliefs. That's his beliefs. That's his beliefs. I read his book, and that's the way he's picturing it. And it might be. You know, I'm describing it in a bit of a like I'm doing a shortcut here, but that's in rough what happened. And then so he went with this mission, like this Christian mission, to the Congo and discovered the pygmy. So the very first time he went there, nothing happened, but then he was more a discovery part for him, and that's where he kind of broke his heart to realize that, you know, kids were dying, and he got to know them, and he got to kind of like make them his own family. So he's referring to them about his pygmies family. Like, that's how he called them. And he also has, like, a pygmy name and all sorts of things. So he's really, like, one of them now. And he's now back in MMA and using MMA to actually bring attention towards the pygmies and also bring money to help build more wells, buy a lot more territories and all these things.
He wants to fight Kimbo because he knows it will be the biggest payday.
Yeah.
He wants to fight Kimbo
in Bellator.
It's Kimbo, despite the fact that Kimbo isn't an elite MMA fighter. He's actually one of the biggest draws in MMA ever.
Sure.
Yeah, more people watch him fight than watch Anderson Silva fight.
And you know what? It just came up on my Facebook feed the other day because we all love Kimbo.
Yeah, of course. That's Kimbo. Listen, Kimbo is what got me into MMA.
Yeah, but it was like his second professional boxing match.
Yeah.
And I watched the video of that, and dude, he hits really hard.
Yeah, he does.
It's one of those fights where the noise you make it's not like whoa or yeah, it's like ugh. He lands a punch, it's like oh god.
Oh shit.
Dude, I remember when he punched that guy in the backyard fight and his eye exploded.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
That was horrible. You don't want to watch it.
Yeah, you do. I'll show it to you.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Because of the quality of the video, you can't really make out what's happened to his face, but you can tell something is really wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They zoom in at one point and they show you.
Yeah.
Did the guy die?
I don't think so.
No, that's just an eye. He has two.
What?
Yeah.
So that's actually what Helene said to me the other day. She poked me in the eye and I was like, ah. She said, what happened? I said, you poked me in the eye. She goes, it's alright, you have two. It's like, bastard.
Yeah, so coming back to Justin Wren, like, one of the things I was questioning is how do you get people involved in that? And
most people don't give a shit.
Well, I don't think they don't give a shit, but so basically I thought Facebook would be the best place to, like, appeal to people and stuff, and I remember posting something about it.
Could we have, just to interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
We'll bring you back, because we have little jokes about this, yeah? Like, I'll post something, or it'll be my birthday, and I'll get 40 birthday comments, and her birthday will roll around a month later, and she'll be like, I got like 100 and something things. So, like, just from her birthday, she'll get like 100 messages, or she'll post a picture from a competition, and it'll get like, you know, more than 100 likes, and something I post won't get as many. So she's quite popular, so she knows when she posts something on Facebook, generally it gets a really good, like, response very quickly.
Well, not when you talk about Justin Wren, apparently.
Nope.
I posted this thing and I was like, guys, this is my revelation of the year. I think I did it last year when I just discovered Justin Wren again through Joe Rogan podcast. I think that's how I heard about him the first time. And posting it and remembering, like, putting something very deep and meaningful. She
bought his book and everything. She was going through this for like weeks. Which
I've never done before on Facebook. You know, that's the very first time. Usually when I post things, it's silly things. But the first time something really, like, touched me and was really important to me. I wrote like a massive piece on it and made sure that I wanted people to share it and to like it and, you know, to drive kind of interest around it. I had, I think in total, 10 likes and 1 share.
Sure.
And I was so heartbroken. I was like, what the fuck? And you know what's the worst? It's like the same day I posted something about, I don't know, something stupid about a belt being embroidered for one of my mate. And it got like 50 likes in a matter of 15 minutes. I was so pissed off. I was like, a fucking belt gets more likes than, you know? And I was like, what's wrong with the world? And I remember having a discussion with my brother, and he was saying something like that. Because it's not, no one commits when they like a picture around belts. It's easier to press like when something is not really, it's not really deep and meaningful. Whilst something like a subject like charity or a subject like helping slavery or stop slavery and this kind of things, you have to actually commit yourself. You have to actually read, stop, think about it, and see whether you agree with it or not. It's kind of a bit more, not challenging, but a bit more commitment related than just liking a picture. And I was like, well, what's that about? Like,
I think maybe I'm just trying to think why that would be. And I know that for me, if I'm on Facebook, if I'm just scrolling through the news feed, it's literally just so that I can have stuff to look at for 30 seconds before I do something else.
Yeah.
I'm not going on there looking for things to intellectually like engage with.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure not everybody uses Facebook that way, but like for me, quite honestly, if something like that came up, I would probably just scroll past it and watch the Kimbo fight underneath. You know, because that's what. So that's how I interact with social media.
Yeah.
It's just on a really like base, superficial level.
Yeah.
I don't express feelings on social media.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably use social media the way that you do. I think that's probably. I would probably say maybe even the majority.
Yeah.
Might use
But
social
then the
media
question
way you
is, how do you get people involved, and how do you get people like
to give a shit?
I don't know. Maybe it's.
I think.
How do I get you involved and not necessarily that, you know, I want to get your money and for you to give your money to Justin Wren, but how do you know?
I think we're gonna take Alex to church. He's got to find God and then go visit the Congo. Just make some Steven Seagal noises there.
I think for me, people that have made a difference to me in my life, like so people that I meet and spend time with, and then as a result of them, I do things differently.
Okay.
They're not people that have come to me with a message.
Yeah.
They're people that are just that are just doing something, and I can see that it makes them happy or it has a positive effect, and I think,
that's why you're here.
Maybe I'll do that. You know.
That makes sense.
Like, so that's why I think the best thing that you can do for other people is just try and be as happy and balanced and just like a even keeled.
And they might want to find out what it is that makes you like that.
And other people would not only that, but just to see you live in that way and just to know that it's possible to live that way. Because up until, you know, because you lived with me, I was just like a fuck up. Everything was a mess. I stank. You know, but it's not until like you are around people that have like a good outlook on life, for me anyways, that you see, I guess you can just like not be miserable all the time. You know. So and I think that maybe that translates.
What was it that helped you get out of that?
Just certain people in your life, you know, like family members and just like I say, just seeing that it's possible to not be miserable.
Yeah.
But just being around happy people.
But sometimes
just helps, you know.
When you're miserable,
you know what I mean?
being around happy people makes you more miserable.
Yeah.
It's the worst. You're just like, oh, shut up, I just wish you weren't so happy. You just want to go talk to another miserable person and be miserable and
just
sad.
wallow.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot better at that. I don't really do that now. I don't wallow much.
Don't wallow.
Yeah.
If I feel like wallowing, I usually just try and get up and do something.
Yeah, moving around definitely helps.
Yeah.
When did that change?
I think a lot of it is to do with being in like a stable relationship as well.
That makes a big difference.
Because, you know, I'm getting married, I live with my girlfriend.
Congratulations!
So you have... I'm just going to ignore that you said that. So you have like a certain level of responsibility to someone else to make sure that I'm not a miserable fuck all the time. Because
what happens when she goes away?
What
You're
do you
by
mean?
yourself for a few days.
Oh, I just
Did you fall apart?
out. No,
Dude,
I just smoke loads. I'll get hold of some weed. I smoke weed. I'll start drinking.
you go to bed later and you're generally a bit more tired and feel a bit like crap?
I will live like how I used to live before I was with her.
Dude, I do more or less the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Man, and then when you go away, I'm telling you, like, I'll eat, like, the worst food, the most convenient stuff. I stay up way too late. Like, on regular nights, I'll go to bed at, like, I'll try and go to bed early, and then I'll end up being awake, and I'll get up again, and I'll end up really sleeping at, like, 2, 3 on a Wednesday, or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, having someone else in your life definitely encourages you to be more. I don't know, more like it's like a family mentality, isn't it? Like you're a team.
Well, I think having a partner like that, having somebody that you're close to, it's almost like having a mirror for your behaviour, because anything that you do or say is immediately reflected in your partner. Like if you act like a dick, they're going to act like a dick.
Yeah.
If you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you. It's like
true.
It's a really direct reflection of your own behaviour.
Yeah,
you know?
that makes sense.
Yeah, it is true.
Oh, show.
Do you know what I just realised?
Oh, what?
Oh, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I was just saying, is this going super long?
No, it's cool. I was just going to say, yeah, we're probably gonna wrap things up. But I just realised something as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, sitting here, you being my mirror, we wouldn't be doing this podcast if it wasn't for you.
Oh yeah, what's that? What did I do?
We wouldn't, because
you introduced him.
You introduced me to Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh yeah, but now sometimes I look at you and I think like, oh, maybe I should never played it to him. Because now, like, you're just constantly jiu-jitsuing, you know, you're always...
well, I was doing jiu-jitsu before Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay, sure, yeah. And now you're doing stand-up, and now you got a podcast. And
it's crazy, right?
Aaron's life is,
It's Joe Rogan's life.
yeah, but like, I don't know, it's all stuff I really like. And I think, do you know what?
If you're happy doing your thing, man, that's cool.
I think I really like that stuff. And not because that Joe Rogan does it, but just because he likes the kind of things that appeal to me. That's why I'm a big fan of his.
Sure, yeah.
Someone else might listen to him. Like, we know people like Luke. He was like, "Oh, I hate Joe Rogan." It's like he'll never like it on that level. It won't appeal to him. But I'm his audience. Like, it's weird. Like, we don't make the podcast for everyone. We make the podcast for the people that want to listen to it. You know, people that like it. And if you're in 4 episodes in and you still like us, like, that's awesome. And we're going to keep putting stuff out there for you. And we're not going to change the podcast and try and appeal to everybody, because then you won't appeal to anyone. I'd rather have a small group of people that really, really enjoyed it, and then more, and we'll just find every single one of those people that wants to hear it, and that's our audience. You don't need to appeal to everyone. And I think the reason that Joe Rogan kind of appealed to me so much was just I was the right guy to hear that. Do you know what I mean? I was already doing jiu-jitsu, I could identify. I love stand-up comedy already, so like I found it really hilarious and stuff like that. And
you like martial arts in general.
I love martial arts in general, exactly. But like, yeah, you introduced me to Joe Rogan podcast, and from there, that's why I listened to it so much, and then I introduced you to it.
Yeah.
You'd never listened to anything like that in your life.
I didn't know what a podcast was.
Didn't know what a podcast was. Yeah, it's all thanks to Alex. So he's a very special first guest in that case.
Oh, it's exciting to be the first.
So
the very first, the first of many. You know, next time we might have some.
You've taken our guest virginity.
Yeah, you've popped the podcast cherry.
And where better to do it than
in bed?
That's all right.
That's genius. Yeah, so we're going to wrap up and we're going to play a song to finish off, which would be from Alex's band, which is Marble Eyes. So where can people find you?
Facebook and SoundCloud are the best ones.
Is it just Marble Eyes?
Marble Eyes.
Marble Eyes.
Marble like the stone, eyes like in your face.
Cool.
Eyes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you have any gigs coming up or anything?
The 9th of July, Aces and Eights, Tufnell Park.
London.
That's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
London. Cool. And which song do you reckon which one would you like us to play?
I don't know. We'll make it a surprise. We'll discuss off air.
Make it a surprise.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good.
Cool.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks a lot for coming over.
Yeah, thanks,
No
man.
worries.
Thanks for coming. That was really cool. He's really cool. We'll have you back. I'm sure people are going to post like, he was a cool guest. Have him back.
Well, obviously. Just forward me all those messages so I can feel good about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy this song by Marble Eyes, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.
See ya.